right. Nana is a man of few words, but Nana Nababe Kasa. All right. He is the chief for Fiyasi Akoyem. Fiyasi Akoyem. Please, let's all be on our feet and give honor to whom honor is due. This is Nana Ade Jamra. Nana Ade Jamra. Please, let's do it better, please. Nana bro. I know Nana went to Prempeh College. This one, I know. So Nana Tashe Greek Kakra Yellow Kakra Nana bro. Yeah, that's it. This will be a mouthful.
Oh.
Yes, maybe I could be having a barco. Yes, thank you, Nana.
Thank you so much. Nananum, government representatives of the Tourism Authority, the Executive Council of ATTA Ghana, hoteliers, aviators, investors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings this morning from the sacred stool of Fiyasi Akoyem, standing here to accept the chairmanship of this event. I actually got a glimpse, or not just a thought, but a whisper in my ear as to who comes all the way here and sees all these beautiful people and rejects the chairmanship. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to start today. Thank you, Prof. Fiyasi is a land hallowed by history, watered by ancestral blood, and still stands tall to tell its story to Asantehman. I will take this opportunity yet again to introduce a couple of people who, by sheer coincidence, happen to be here from the United Kingdom. They came to do their own research, but it just happened that the research is based on just this particular event. So I will first introduce Professor Cindy Millman. Cindy is the director of the Business School for the Creative Industries, and she's also professor of business innovation at the University of Creative Arts in UK. I also want to introduce Dr. Samuel Oseinimo. Dr. Oseinimo is a senior lecturer in management, Nottingham Business School, Nottingham Trent University in the UK. They came here coincidentally researching sustainable drum making, the project that I have undertaken myself a couple of years ago. But theirs is not only specific to Ghana, but the whole sub-Saharan Africa. And it's important in this setting, because you all see all these drums on my right-hand side being beaten to death, even in this program. And if we do this at every program we go, rest assured I'll run through like 5 of them a year. So how can we make them sustainable? And how can we build them sustainably? And that's why they are here. Their focus is mainly on the drum making sector in Asantehman in particular, asking the following key questions. And these are the questions that will be in your exams, business school. What are the current practices and challenges in the drum making industry in terms of sustainable manufacturing? And how can these practices be optimized to enhance both environmental sustainability and the economic viability of local artisans? If my grandfather is doing it, will I be doing it after he leaves? If I don't do it, who is going to continue to do it? Because our culture is not dead. Our culture is alive and our traditions are thriving. So we also need to make our instruments of tradition viable. And that's why we're here mostly today. Thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Samuel. Today, I stand before you not only as a custodian of tradition, but as a visionary partner in progress. Because tradition does not evolve. If it doesn't, it becomes a relic. And if culture is not shared, it actually becomes forgotten. And this is why it is so important. And I don't say this to feel too old. But the organizers that actually invited me know why they did. It was a trick. I left Ghana about 33 years ago. So I have lived more outside of Ghana than I have lived in Ghana. So the question is, why am I here? And why would I even want to be here? And it is a sense of duty that brought me back. If I did not have the training way back when, 50 years ago, as an ahenkwa, performing this same duty for my uncle, I wouldn't have understood the importance and the value of our culture. Now that I do, I accept this position, although a little reluctantly, with pride. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to preserve this culture and this tradition for posterity. And by the way, Dr. Samuel Osainimo is my nephew. So it now makes sense, doesn't it? A professor in the UK now coming to research on drums being played by his uncle, the chief. Okay, just add the rest. We really have inherited a sacred land of history, and we have the greatest opportunity to take advantage of it. Because I was invited as the chief of FEIASE, I will use FEIASE as an example and a canvas. But FEIASE by no means is the only place with such rich culture and such rich traditions. So forgive me if everything I'd say is about FEIASE. A bias will always be there. When Nananom got together to form Asantewaan, the idea was born elsewhere, but Asantewaan was born in FEIASE. And that's the pride that I take in when I meet the likes of you. Beautiful students, committed adults who want to take our traditions as far as it can go. And thank you for doing it. FEIASE is not just a village. It is the battleground where the fate of an entire empire was decided. The place where dangerous might gave way to Asanteman's destiny, and where Komfanoche's spiritual command sealed the bond of unity. When you talk about Asanteman, you talk about unity. That's our symbol. When you talk about Asantemai, you talk about unity. It is through unity that Asantemai was born. Praye uyiba kwa ibu, ukabuma imu. That's how it started. How many Ghanaians really know this? Well, if I'm not from Ashanti, who cares? But how many Ashantis know this? Asante for saying Nenim. But now that we are here in Asantemai, developing Asantemai, talking about Asantemai, promoting Asantemai, I'm sure I'm free to talk about Asantemai. How many tourists really walk these sacred grounds of Feyase, a place where Chenebua Kodria died, a place where Intim Jakari died? Over 2 million visitors enter Ghana annually. Yet, only few experience the depth of Asantemai history. We have gold in our stories, wealth in our traditions, and treasures in our land. But what we really lack is structure. We lack the promotional acumen. And we lack sustainable investment. Here we go again, the word sustainable. Repeated, essential, continuous, efficient. We just don't throw money at something. We have to throw money efficiently at something. And that's what we're trying to do. If we are to build a sustainable tourism, hospitality, and aviation industry we all want, then we must shift from wishful thinking to intentional action. We have to acknowledge Asantemai's status as a cultural hub, home of the golden stool, home of blackened stools, home of historic battles. We have kente and we have royal traditions. Thank God we also have our Akweside. Let me actually quickly analyze the three things, the three pillars that we are working on today, which is our hospitality, our aviation, and our tourism. I would have rolled all that in one and just make it tourism. Because for you to have sustainable tourism, there needs to be aviation. If you need to have sustainable tourism, you have to be hospitable. They are not mutually exclusive. They are together. So let's just talk about tourism and what it entails. Tourism is actually where culture and traditional legacy meets innovation. It's my story, but how can I tell it so well that you wouldn't have a choice but to come see it? That's innovation. Nobody believes anything today. You can't tell your kid, don't whistle at night or something will happen. It doesn't happen anymore. But how do you tell your story so well that your kid understands what happened 300 years ago? That's innovation. And this is why we are here. Asantemai is really rich. We have Menchia Palace. We have Feyasia Kuyim. We have Lake Bosomche. But we have not seriously packaged it to global standards that will make it attractive for everybody to come. At least I have a couple of ambassadors. I got one at UK Nottingham Trent University. He brought another. Next time, they will bring more. That's how we do it. Sustainability. We must restore and brand our historic sites, please. We need to restore and brand them. As we sit here, when I say Bremai, who knows Bremai and who knows where it is and who knows why we say Bremai and we stop? There's something about that. We need to brand our historic sites. We need to create immersive experiences. We have to do war reenactments. We need to do festivals of storytelling that will cement our history in our minds. That's the essence of storytelling, to cement our history. These are the little things to help what we do. We need to train our children. We need to train our youth. We need to sensitize them as to why it is important to keep our cultures and our traditions sacred. In that same vein, we need to train tour guides, tourism. And you, the visitor, sometimes know more than the person giving you the tour. You plan to go back tomorrow? No. So we need to have training schools that train our tour guides in the history that they are giving. Not only training our tour guides, we need to train people in history and storytelling. But because they don't know simple math, they get dropped out of school. People's talents are not being developed. And that is the reason why we need to start from our basic schools. If we're doing tourism, we need to be so serious, so passionate. I don't want to be here today and be forgotten tomorrow. I don't want that. Don't invite me here to talk about this. When we show up, the most important thing in tourism is training the right tour guides and training the right storytellers. So passionate about the stories, you want to come again and again and again. So organizers, please, let's work together to achieve that. The hospitality aspect of it, I don't even want to talk about it. You cannot create a business and not be hospitable. That is a no-brainer. So I'm going to skip that. I will say who said nipa. That is business. My mom was in business for 75 customers. Local business that make the local foods. We had this, my students, please assimilate. So wherever you are, brighten that corner with whatever you can do. That is tourism. You don't have to go to Ghana National Cultural Center to see all these huge, beautiful drums, to see culture. I just brought you culture. I brought you tradition. You can do it wherever you are. You only have to understand it. See, I'm standing here so passionate about this. Why? Because I left my whole life somewhere else and I'm here. It needs to be worth it. It has. You are in business schools. You need to be able to establish businesses that welcome people. But if you don't believe what you have, trust me, nobody else is going to believe in it. If you build it, they will come. But to sustain it, you have to be hospitable, or else you'll only get the flock one time, and that will be it. If I will be in to have that hub, I'm trained to have that hub. I'm training so many tour guides with so much history, they can go anywhere and perform. That is my vision. And perform. That is my vision. I'm praying that the young women will in ecotourism. Whatever you're going to do in business, now that you're here, looking at the tourism, hospitality, aviation, we can link Feyase directly to Cape Coast and to Tamale. Why? Because of Prempeh, the first international airport. That is what we need to do. And so I'm standing here having accepted this position as chairman of this event. But the little that I have to say, I hope it's worth it. Creating a sustainability or a sustainable tourism to profit, but to build enduring legacies. Let us build a healthy competition with our neighbors who have succeeded, with the confidence that Asantehmai has its own crown. Its own. For Asantehmai, I leave you with government officials, committed investors, youth. Let's build a sustainable tourism, hospitality, and aviation. Is rising. Asantehmai is ready. Let us move together and build something that will last for generations to come.
Good afternoon. All right. I'm sure you are. How many speakers have we had today so far? Just 3. Just Obia, one sentence. I remember back in the day at the lecture hall when the speakers are getting too many, people be dragging their tables to tell you that, man, it's time for us to move. So let's refresh our minds a little bit. Just 3. What you've learned? What have you learned so far? Show by hand. Just 1. From all the speakers who have come. Yeah, come over. So come over, come. Put your hands together for her. Okay, what have you learned so far?
I have learned how to promote tourism through proper propagation, like hotel management, how you welcome guests or tourists in your organization.
Put your hands together for her. 2 more. Fast. 2 more. What have you learned? Anna Omakasegu. What have you learned so far from the first speaker to the last one? 2 more, just 2 more. Yeah, come over. So, number 2, and then that will be the last one. Put your hands together for her. You mention your name and what you have learned.
Please, my name is Efriye, and I've learned that in whatever we do, we should value our culture.
We should value our culture. All right.
Okay, I've learned that we're given the principles or some kind of steps we could be able to put in place to help us be able to overcome that issue.
Thanks so much. I'll be very brief. I'm very content because I'll be honest. I was sitting there quietly observing. Regional Minister, where is he? Representative. Minister for Tourism, representative. Representative. That is how Ghanaians have treated tourism for the past 500 years. Mebwana, I hear third class. But you don't play with a sector that can give you $4.8 billion in a year. Do you joke with a sector like that? So I know I'm on TV. Honorable Regional Minister, Sector Minister, all the bosses who make things run for tourism, you should be at such functions so that we can share ideas and you can take something with you. I'm not denigrating the representatives, but try and show up. It's important. A major foreign exchange earner for the country. The third, just last year, 4.8, if my memory serves me right, $4.8 billion. That's how much tourism brought to Ghana last year. And Minister, GTA. Anyway, I know my information will get to all of them. So let's do our best and put premium on tourism, because apart from the oil and the cocoa and the gold and the bauxite, the limestone, whatever, tourism can really help us. But the question is, how do we make it sustainable? As the caption suggests, it's important. I'll just put it point straight down. The speakers have elaborated on so much, so I'll not deliberate too much on it. The first point, like all of us know, is strong infrastructure. And what I realized in Ghana is that most of the access routes to our tourism facilities from not only this government, from previous governments. We don't put premium on those roads. Most of the roads are not in good shape. I'm happy that we are starting something new. What Ghanaians are very good at is the usual, what I'm doing, the blah, 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 blah. The biggest headache in Ghana from the day Kwame Nkrumah helped us with independence has been implementation. We've had so many speakers. If what they all said, if even 5 of what they've said so far can be implemented, Ghana will be one of the best tourism sites in the world. I will not say Africa. So I will wish that we put premium on some of these things. So infrastructure, very, very important, access roads. Transportation. As soon as a tourist gets into the country, if he alights at Kotoka and wants to go to Bole or Bamboy, he will need transport. It could be air, it could be by road, whatever. But question is, where is the person supposed to get the information? The person gets down, he sees stuff on the internet, arrives at Kotoka. Now from Kotoka to Bole or to Nalerigu, how does he get there? Ghanaians are not very forthcoming with reading and pick the car for Nalerigu, and you'll be found wanting for the next 30 or 40 minutes. Let's do our best to read about our country, especially the tourism sector sites, the very